Hi, you want to watch this episode. If you're curious, mark that word. If you're curious, one needs to be curious to be credible. So this was an interesting discussion that came out of a networking group. The specific word focused on was curiosity. And in thinking about that word, I kind of come to a conclusion. Here's the interesting question. Do you need to be curious? Do you need to show curiosity to be credible? Short answer is yes. So let's step back. Let's look at the definition. So the definition of curiosity in a dictionary is a strong desire to know or learn something. All right, there's something else. An example of curiosity is always asking questions, reading books, and going out to try to learn about the world. It goes on to say, curiosity can be described as positive emotions and acquiring knowledge. When one's curiosity has been aroused, it is considered inherently rewarding and pleasurable. All right, so you know the phrase curiosity killed the cat. So I was kind of curious about that. That dates back to the British playwright. In 1598, it was Ben Jonson. And then in the play was William Shakespeare. Say that 5 times fast. And what was interesting, the full expression is curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Now, I'm going to say in the industrial age, what happened is we were teaching and the world was teaching people not to be curious. It was to do your job, to go and do the factory floor job and be happy and satisfied and live in that construct. And the educational system is structured around that. We don't teach people to be curious. We teach people to memorize stuff and learn, and you go to school and then you're done. But that's not the way the world is today. We all have at our fingertips, we have one of these. And this is a computer that has so much more power than the initial IBM ENIAC, which took up the entire, this garage and more. And so what's interesting is if you're thinking about what is curious and what is not, and what is credibility and what is not, to me, a strong component of credibility is having the intent and desire to do the right thing. Well, how do you know if you're doing the right thing if you're not curious enough to figure out who you're serving and how? A strong desire of a strong component of credibility is focused on being coachable. Well, you can't always be right all the time. If you're no longer curious to see if what you're doing is the right thing, you've now passed the point of no longer being credible. You may have the terms, you may have credibility based on authority. You can take a look at a previous episode is, do you earn it based on your actions, or you earn it credibility based on being designated in that position? The answer is curiosity is that thing that helps you grow, helps you learn, helps you understand how you can, another component of credibility, how you can serve better. You know, I've heard many parents say, and it always surprises me, man, my kid just asks why all the time. Like, the coolest thing in the world is when our son would ask why, and I'd be happy to answer as much as humanly possible. And now, you know, he's got YouTube to ask why. He's watched so many how-to videos. He's got the internet to ask why. He's got people to talk to as well. And the thing is, though, we have at our fingertips is the world's repository of knowledge and information. And so the question is, what are you going to do with it? I'm curious. Aren't you? So if you want to make sure that you understand who you serve and the pain point you address, which, by the way, will change tomorrow, if you want to make sure you do that, you have to continually ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Am I serving the right audience? Do I need to change the audience I serve? Do I need to change the way I serve them? Is there somebody else who can come in and serve some of the basic stuff that I'm doing so that I can do the more advanced level? Or maybe the other way around. There's other people who do the advanced stuff and I like the basic stuff. Let me do more of that. Curiosity is a core component. It's an amazing attribute of being credible. Because if you're credible, you're constantly on the lookout to learn, to grow, to do things better, to surround yourself with the right type of people, it needs to be curious to be able to do that. In this episode, it just talked about a couple of the components of why it is extremely important for you to go through life being curious. And the more curious you are on who you are and how you serve, the much better opportunity you have of being credible. I'm really glad this concept, this construct came to mind. And I do say that in order to be credible, you need to be curious. Thanks so much. Enjoy.